Hey, it's the old man here, and Yak Shamash. I'm good. I'm not sick. Our numbers have slowed down a lot up here, so that's good. I can finally visualize an end game to all this, and we'll get through it. So, again, let's throw our cares to the wind and talk about Space City. Uh, and this is about Frank's bedroom. We called it the command post. This was on a table right next to his bed, and there's the sign that's right there, and in a second. And there's the dog that's right there. Yeah, I'm a pack rat. Um, Artifacts, it's history. I'm going to try and get this to a historical society that may be interested in all this stuff because it's, yeah, interesting stuff, that's for sure. Let me read something that Kurt sent me. Thank you, Kurt. Um, it's a newspaper clipping from somewhere. Let me see here. From Cedar Woolley. And it talks about the names, and somebody visited so-and-so, and they went to their place, and it says, the highlight of the trip was a visit to Space City, located east of Big Lake in the Walker Valley of Skagit County. This is the most beautiful miniature city. It has hundreds of buildings and all of the things that you could imagine a city on Mars or one in the future would have. Each building was lit up, and there was an atomic energy plant as well as rocket launching pads and, of course, rocket ships. This display is located in the front yard of its designer, Frank A. Reinard. Mr. Reinard has been in the process of making this city for 3 years. So this might have been 1960 or something. Something like that. When asked how long a project like this takes, Mr. Reinard said that you just keep adding to something like this, and in a lifetime isn't long enough to complete it. Any of you folks going that way, it is well worth your time, even if you have to drive out of your way to go see it. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, what a guy. He was one of a kind, and like all of us. The command center. Next to his bed was 3 tape recorders, the old school ones that might have only been as big as a cigar box. And those old tape recorders had little tiny speakers. I mean, they were 1.5 inches across, if that. And of course, Frank had wired in bigger speakers and had wires going all over the place. And where those speakers tape recorders, maybe one for Space City, one for the front yard, one for the backyard. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. What a guy. Some more artifacts. Let me get my glasses on. Spacesuit and the law. Yeah, that's what he always called it. When he called the police, he called the law. Sunday morning, December 28th, 12:40 a.m., July 1969. A car in front, a station wagon, said that quite a building, smoke coming up out of the chimney, found on old tape. Yeah, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm going to look into that Hobby City and see if there's anybody has a picture of that. Because, like I say, when I went and looked for it, there was raised train tracks that were maybe a foot or so off the ground, but the ground was like so wet that we didn't want to get our feet wet snooping around. And then, of course, we just put it off and never went back. Hang on a second here. I'm going to adjust this thing. And I want to kind of keep this one short because it takes forever to upload. Yeah, there's that dog with the busted ear. Nothing special, but it is to me. And then I found this. And I couldn't really find it on the picture. I suppose if I looked more, I could. And then I found this one. Let's see here. At Greasy Sid's shop, laying amongst the garbage. And I've had this thing for 40 years or more. So I'll be back, and we'll talk more about Space City. I still want to talk about the stages and the low battery, of course. Talk about the stages that he built. Little tiny stages with tinsel and all kinds of stuff, and carpet and fencing that I kept. What a guy. So please, everyone, stay safe. This thing has to end someday. I've gone out more in the last few days than I have in the last 2 months. I wear a mask and all that stuff, but it's still, when I go out up here, it seems like a lot of people could care less. Kids out with their parents, no mask. Old people with no mask. But then I see, people like myself that have a mask on that, I don't want to take a chance of getting it. But, the numbers are going down a little bit, so that's super positive. So, happy trails. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll do it again. Take care, and thank you for watching to the end. Bye.